So there's a pigeon theory that I've heard repeated a lot, and I'm not entirely sure if I believe it, but the theory goes that you can look at a pigeon's toes and tell if it's a hen or cock. Apparently if the toes are uneven, they're a cock, and if the toes are even, they're a hen. So for example, I take a pigeon like this. According to the theory, you can look at the outside two toes, line them up, which is a bit difficult to show on camera, but this one has the two toes, the two outside toes are the same length, which according to the theory should say this is a hen. I'm going to try and test that today. I'm going to get my stock birds that I bred off, birds that I know if they're hens or cocks, and we're going to have a look at them all and test the theory. It'll definitely prove I've got too many stock birds, but hopefully it can prove true or false if this theory works. Anyway, let's give it a go. All right, I've set up this little station so that we can investigate. I've pulled out 10 cocks to start with. I thought it was a bit much pulling out all the stock birds, so we're just going to do 10. That should be a nice sample size. You can probably hear them behind me making a racket in the basket, but let's get started. So with the camera like this, it is a bit easier for me to show you what I mean. So the idea is you line up these two outside toes straight with the middle toe, and the hens should be even and the cocks should be odd. Looking at this guy, it's a bit hard to tell, honestly. I think he's just odd. So we're just going to the pads of the toes, not the actual toenails. But honestly, there's nothing in it. I'm going to say this one's odd, but only just. Now, here's number 2. Now, these cockbirds I've pulled up, they're all different ages, different bloodlines, but they are all mature cocks that I've bred from, so I know that they are definitely cockbirds. Now, that looks even on the camera. I'll just have a look outside of the camera. Again, he's probably just odd outside of the camera, but honestly, maybe it's just because I know he's a cock that I'm going to call that odd, because that's so close. But again, I'll just put it on the odd side. Okay, cockbird number 3. We'll line him up. And look, this guy's the opposite of the last two. It's this outside toe that's ever so slightly longer, and the other two it was just a tiny bit shorter. Look, I don't think there's much in this theory. We're only 3 birds in, but it's really not that noticeable. I'm going to call these uneven, but again, there's not much in it. This is number 4. You don't need to hear me describe every single one of these pigeons, but look, this one's clearly odd. Like, this one's definitely odd. The others were very hard to tell. This one's a lot more definitive, but look, you don't need to hear me describe all of them. We're going to run through the rest of the cocks now. It's another difficult one. Look, it's not even 1/10 of a millimetre in that. I know this is a cock, so I'm going to call it uneven, but they're so close. Alright, this is the 10th cock, and see, he's definitely uneven. Now, look, I don't know what to make of these results. That's the 10 cocks we've looked at, and I've marked them all as uneven, but like I said, at least 4 of them were almost identical, less than 0.5 millimetre in it. And if I didn't know they were cocks, I don't know what I would have called them. Anyway, let's put these cocks back. I'll pull out 10 hens and we'll try again. Alright, I'm back. I've picked up 10 random hens. Again, they're all different, unrelated hens, all mature hens. I bred from them all, so they're definitely hens. Let's have a look at their feet. So here's the first one. And look, that's even, but I'm sure half the cocks looked exactly like that, and I called them uneven because I knew they were cocks. Am I just calling this even because I know it's a hen? Let's have a look at the rest. This is hen number 2. And look, I think that's odd. That's definitely odd. That's not even at all. So I'm going to call that uneven. The third hen, and that is more odd than any of the cocks were. Like, that couldn't possibly be any more odd than that. So I don't know how good this theory is looking. Not good so far. Alright, this is hen number 4. Same as the cocks. You don't need to hear me describe all of them. I'm just going to go through them now. But yeah, that one's even. We'll call that even, and we'll have a look at the rest of these hens, and then we'll sum up at the end. Alright, this one's obviously broken its toenail nice and short, but we are just looking at the pads of the toes, not the actual toenails. And still, I'm calling that uneven. That's totally odd, not even at all. Alright, this is the last of the 10 hens. And look, I feel like that's, if that was a cock, we would have called it uneven. I'm going to call it even. But look, it's not, there's not much in it. So look, where does that leave our theory? Not great. The hens are pretty much 50-50. The cocks, they could have been 50-50. I reckon there was at least 4 of those that were borderline. Anyway, I'm going to put these birds back and we can sum up at the end. Alright, back in the loft to sum up. Sorry, I'm really sweaty. I've got a cold at the moment, you can probably hear, and it's burning me up at the moment. Anyway, how did we go for the theory? Well, here's the results. Not great. The hens, pretty much 50-50. The cocks, I called them all uneven, which is what the theory should suggest, but honestly, half of those were 50-50 anyway. Look, this theory, I think, is as close to busted as it's going to get. I definitely wouldn't rely on that to sex the pigeons. Look, have you got any other theories that we can have a look at whilst the birds are molting? There's not much going on here at the moment. The birds are molting. We're still probably 2 months away from any training. So yeah, if we've got any myths that we want to check out, any theories, anything else, hit me in the comments and we'll give it a go. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed. We'll catch you guys next time.